No, because I work. Now, speaking of work, go back into your cave and
Oh
work.
God, here he goes.
Don't yell at me because I'll walk right out. I will walk right out, Jack.
Take that stench out too.
Jack.
That smelling, whatever you put in there, the new perfume,
It
take
was
it
the
with you.
garbage. It was the garbage.
It was? No.
Yeah, I smell good.
She smells amazing. I just smelled her.
Right guard.
No, it's not right guard. You mentioned my fucking we will beeping fight. I hope you got that on fucking tape.
It's on 3 cameras.
Okay, so if you talk about my age, we're gonna fight.
I wasn't working with
He's
8.
gonna ask you how you've been in the industry.
That's fine, but he doesn't need to fucking. You heard of that? A woman of your age, a woman. I'm like, you gotta stop fucking playing me right now.
How was
He's
it?
gonna ask you how
I'm gonna kick his ass.
business and how old were you
When you were
when
14
started?
and working with Betty White, how was that? The ass. How was Abe Lincoln in his house?
I wouldn't know. I'm black.
All right, was Rosa Parks pretty cool when you were walking with her at high school?
Fucking guy.
Belinda, you have to be proud of your age.
No, but I don't need to be. That's fine. I don't need to. I'm not that I deny it. But he.
50 years, and he's proud.
No. I know it's being recorded. I know how he works. But he better not ask me on the freaking air.
It's okay. You can start 25 minutes. So now we're fucking shift down to 20 minutes.
That's what happens when you work with divas, motherfucker.
Yeah, welcome to Savron Diva Entertainment and thongs.
Sovereign.
Sovereign.
It's okay if they didn't teach you that word in school. Yeah, we could talk about it. We could talk about whatever you want, except my fucking age. How about that? Does that work for you? We still look like we're in the same age category, though.
Good morning. Welcome to Behind the Keys with Jack. Today, I get to put down on the piano, G-rated, put down on the piano with me, and she's a good friend of mine. I've known her for quite some time, just through dreams and words. And then I had
Dreams and nightmares.
Dreams and nightmares, yeah. And then she happened to be one of our tenants for about a good year. It was really beautiful. The experience that we had with her to learn about her experience in the nightlife world, radio world, wedding world. She's a family woman. And she's one of the hardest working coordinators and planners that I know because she's this very diversified planner. And she speaks her mind. She speaks her mind very well. I've been scarred.
Maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah. I've been scarred quite some time, but you know what? It grew on me. And I love the fact that the way she works, it wasn't easy. Definitely she's not an easy pill to swallow. But she does leave a great impression with all the events that she hosts. And you can see it on her platforms. It's constantly going. It's growing. And I'm going to turn the camera here to the one only Belinda.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me. This is Behind the Keys with Jack.
Thank you for having me.
How do you like that tag name, the Behind the Keys with Jack?
I love it, especially since you this is your baby, right? The piano. You patented this, so it's like a great name.
Yes.
It fits you.
So, B, I'm happy you joined. Can I call you B?
Yes, you can call me B.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you had me after you had every planner in New Jersey here. But I'm happy that you finally invited me.
Well, you know, your T-Mobile didn't work properly when I tried to reach out to you. So
that's because I was in another country, sunshine.
You were in Essex County to Passaic County. That's where you were at. You were in
No, country, not county.
Oh no, I figured. Anyway, we could keep ball busting here. But anyway, Belinda, I don't know how you're doing this, but you're a family woman, and I've seen your growth. I've seen exactly where you've been doing a lot of production with radio, with big concerts. How did you pivot to all of a sudden you want to become this planner? Like, this wasn't just like an easy thing that you just snapped your fingers and, I'm doing this.
No.
What was your motivation?
It was
behind
called COVID.
COVID.
It was called COVID and depression, right? So when COVID hit, all the concerts, events, that all came to a stop, like a sudden stop. Everybody in the industry didn't know what to do, where to go. And I was one day on Instagram and somebody sends me a DM. And she's like, hey, I can help you with your page. I see that you do some wedding planning and I'd like to help you. And I'm like, are you a scammer? She's like, no, I'm not a scammer. Anyway, we just formed a relationship and we started talking from there.
Are you still friends with her?
Yes, I am.
Oh, who's this?
She's called the Content Isle. Her name is Andrea. She's Eastern European and lives in Dominican Republic. She helps a lot of people out in the wedding industry to help them with their content online and their website. And she helped me and she was like, we can pivot you. We can make you a wedding planner. And she's like, how many weddings have you done? I'm like, like 10. She's like, 10? I'm like, yeah, like 10. And I go, but I know what to do. I'm like, it's not any harder than a concert. I'm like, if I can rock a concert,
Yeah.
I can do this. And that's how it happened. And then it just started growing slowly. It started growing right after COVID.
Okay. So now, in the radio world, you mentioned big production stuff. You handle it from red carpet to basic stuff, photo booths from
like Mark
backdrops.
Anthony's 50th birthday party. I did a lot of
And you
cool
got
events.
from the ground up, though. Like, you had everything from the beginning to the end, from invitations, the whole 9 yards. You
Yeah,
controlled
yeah.
all that. Mm-hmm. So when you had to really figure out a new game plan, a new model for weddings, how did you market yourself to be a wedding planner now? Because that's not easy. Like, you just don't wake up and say, oh, I'm a planner. But
No, I would just say that I take a different approach to wedding planning, because it's not like I know what wedding planning was, but I said I take a different approach. I'm not a wedding planner. I'm an event planner, but I can convert it into weddings, and people just believe me.
they just believe you.
Yeah.
I got to say,
I sell a good game. I'm like honest. I'm like, hey, I might not know this, but I know this. Like, I don't know how to deal with the maitre d', but I know how to do a timeline.
You know how to deal with DJs?
It depends. It depends if they follow my timeline.
Yeah. What do you think about that? You're a planner's timeline compared to a DJ's timeline. This is a general question. Like, DJ has their own planning form, and you have your own form. What's your take on that?
So I think that everybody works differently, right? I've seen DJs timelines that are amazing. I've seen DJs timelines that are trash, right? The same goes for event planning, right? I'm sure you've seen a lot of event planners timelines that are trash, or timelines like mine that it's a little bit too much information for you to read over. And I get it, right? So I try to work with the DJ as the DJ comes, right? So if it's somebody that likes to read timelines, then hey, we're gonna go by my timeline. If you don't, then I go by your timeline. If you don't have a timeline, you don't want to work on a timeline, we're going to go every half an hour, we're going to go up to each other and we're going to say, hey, what's next? Oops, sorry. What's next? What comes next? So everybody works a little differently, and I try to adapt to them, but it takes me like 1 or 2 times after I work with them to know their style, you know?
How many people do you have working with you?
There's about, we go to events, it's usually anywhere from 3 to 10 of us, depending on the magnitude of the event. And on my team, it's 10 of us.
Great. Now, with this, I ask these questions a lot with a lot of other planners. You have to have some sort of way of hiring. What are some of the questions or some of the signs that you know that this person that I'm picking is a perfect reflection of my brand and my company?
Well, I don't know that right away, because it's funny because people sell a good game, right? So they come to you and they're like, yeah, I can do this and I can do that and I can do that. I'm like, okay, this is the deal. You get to do 2 weddings with me. I'm not paying you for them. That's what I tell them. I'm
So
like,
you do like an internship type
yeah,
thing.
it's kind of like an internship. And then they're like, oh, okay, yes or no, or I can't do that. Okay, if you can't do it, then you can't work with me, right? Other times it's people that are referrals. And actually 2 of the people on my team, I actually worked with them in some form or fashion. So one of them, I did her Sweet 15s many moons ago. And then another.
She had more 15s or just one 15?
She just had one Sweet 15.
Oh, okay.
Keep it up. I know what you're trying to do here. And then the other, it was funny. One of the other girls on my team, she wanted to hire me after she already hired a wedding planner.
Okay. That's complimenting you.
Well, no. It wasn't. It was a compliment, but it wasn't good. Like, she was like, I want to release my planner and hire you. And I was like, I can. I know your planner. So I was like, I can't do it. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Now, let's jump on that. Why? You knew the planner, but if it's business, like what was going through your mind there? Where you didn't want to break that contract, you didn't want to break the relationship.
Yeah, she already had a contract signed, and it's your job to vet your vendor. If you don't vet your vendor, it's like, oh, I married you, Jack, but you know what? You're not good enough for me right now. I want to get divorced. Well, then you have to go through legal proceedings, and the other person has to want to jump into that relationship with you. That's not something I wanted to do. Yeah. Like, I don't want to. If I'm gonna burn a bridge, I'm going to burn it because I'm not going to cross back on that bridge, but I didn't want to burn that relationship with that planner.
Well, I mean, I definitely give it to you because, yeah, you're fairly new to the wedding world.
But I don't give a crap if I burn a bridge.
Oh,
okay.
That I know. There's no bridges for you. You just definitely find an Uber in the Amazon. Can you describe your first successful wedding that you booked that you knew, like, this was going to be, like, your long-term thing? Because I know during COVID, everyone shifted. Yeah. But when you became a wedding planner and you got your first booking, and you're like, you know what? It could be the first, it could be the second, it could be the third booking. You were like, wait.
Yeah, because I feel that I really knew that I liked it prior to COVID. So I did Jelena Solano's wedding. She's a reporter for Univision, and I did her wedding. And after that wedding, I was like, oh, I want to do this. But since I wasn't in the industry, I wouldn't get, and I didn't know how to go about getting more clients, right? So
Right.
I knew I wanted to do it then. But then after that, it was Eva and Andrew. They got married at the Art Factory. And I remember they came to me during COVID and they were like, we know that everything shut down, but we saw your work, with celebrities and stuff like that. And we want to book you. And because we want to have a great ass party. I can curse, right? I can say ass.
Yeah.
A great ass party.
This is going to my church.
And I said, okay. And they were referred by somebody in the media industry. She works for, what's that company that monitors what TV shows do well? Nielsen.
Okay.
She works for Nielsen, and she was the one that referred me. She's like, I know she does amazing events. You should hire her to be your wedding planner. And that was my first couple that stood out. And like they stayed with me like the whole year, and their wedding was fabulous. Like the bus even stopped at a COVID testing site because we still had to get tested to travel. So for their honeymoon, they had to make sure that they got tested before going on their honeymoon and all this stuff. So it was like a production, that wedding, because we were still getting used to the masks and stuff. But they were my first ones, and I love them dearly to this day. We still chat.
Did you have any, I guess let's go a few years back, any bad events that really struck out like shit?
Tons.
I wish.
Like I'm quitting.
You felt like this wasn't your industry. This wasn't where I want to be. Can you describe that one moment, that one event?
Yeah, so it was like...
You leave no names if you want to add names.
No, I'm no names. But I fucked up at a wedding, and I gave them the wrong vows. I swapped vows.
Oh, this for the ceremony part?
So I gave the bride the wrong vows. Anyway, she flipped out. She was highly upset.
So she was reading his wedding
No, she
vows.
was reading some other, she was reading a letter she wrote to him for his gift.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't even reading, It was, it was crazy. It's a lot to go into. Like, I could justify it if I want to, but I still messed up, right? So, I'm very real like that as it is. And I was like, after that day, I was like, I don't want to be a wedding planner anymore. I don't think I'm cut out for it. I was so upset. Because I could imagine how she felt, right? Like, I put myself in her shoes, and I'm like, damn, Belinda, you could have just read it over one more time, right? Mm-hmm. But in the hustle and bustle, you don't read it over, whatever. But I remember her groom coming up to me and saying to me, hey, we know how hard you worked. We're upset, but it is what it is. And we just want you to know that we are really grateful for everything else you've done and stuff like that. He's like, everybody can make a mistake.
What wedding number was this?
Ooh, that was probably wedding number 10.
Number 10. Okay, listen, I appreciate your honesty because it's like everyone, they have to learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, number 10.
So
number 10. I think that was the only major, I've had other events that have not been weddings that things have messed up. Like one time I took a measurement wrong. And when the banner arrived, I was like, that's the wrong measurement. So we had to find a place that would print it within the next 2 hours before it was crazy. Or you go to Washington Heights, you can find anything.
Oh, you can find anything there.
Yeah.
I found home vasectomy kits inside one of those bodegas. I'm going to bring all the guys here. We're going to have a party and a half here. I think it'll be great.
Are you serious or are you joking?
No, home vasectomy kit, yeah.
No.
Willie Bodega and Pizza. It's on
Shut up.
Broad Street.
You're a clown. So I've had things like that, but it's never been anything major. I think that's been, but things happen all the time. But I think that was the only time that I really might have considered quitting.
Yeah.
That was the only time. And I've had slow months, right? And you're like, oh, work is not coming in, especially right after COVID. And then there was that boom, right? So I know that, it fluctuates. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. That's like everything in life, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't quit because of that. I like what I do.
So how did you get out of the hole where it's from depression to say, you know what? I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to give it a shot one more time.
Oh, just people started calling. And like I told you, that Eva and Andrew couple, then Mindy and Lisa came. It was a few couples that were during COVID looking for someone. And, I get a lot of people that do have celebrities that attend their wedding. There might not be celebrities themselves. And they're like, oh, since you know how to deal with celebrities, we're going to use you and stuff like that. So,
nice.
So things like that.
You build a good trust there. That's important. Now, can you talk about one of your best events?
My best event?
Everything from band, DJ, officiating, day, limo, everything just came through. Like, you know what? This is the event that you compare almost every other wedding that you plan. Like, hopefully it hits that milestone.
So I've had a few of them like that. One of them was with you, actually. That was Catherine and Dean. I thought that wedding went very well.
That was nice, yes.
That was a very nice wedding.
That was
Everything
at
went according.
Shadowbrook, right?
Yeah, it was a Shadowbrook. Everything went according to plan. It was really nice. That wedding stood out. Jelena and Steve, the one I mentioned before. Eva and Andrew.
But
I don't know. It's like every wedding is different to me, right? Like.
Well, we could always remember the bad, but can you remember one of the best? That's always been.
No, I think there's so
every day.
Let me look at my freaking thing. Hold on.
Well, every day as we plan, we're always kind of on autopilot. But I've always gone.
I've had
back.
so many good ones.
All my weddings where I go heavy with, like, video walls and pianos and stuff. I always thought that they would be the ones that are going to leave me the best impression, and the way I see, like, a lot of my clients. But I love those because it's definitely a concert, it's a show. Mm-hmm. But I've always thought the simple weddings where it's just rocking music, hitting them hard, fast. There's no sit down has always been my favorite, and so far I already have 2 this year that are up there, and they were just basic. They were just basic.
I have to say, I had a New Year's wedding this New Year's. I flew in from Puerto Rico and I flew into a wedding. I will never do that again. I was exhausted, but it was so much fun. Like, it was a Haitian wedding, and it was on National Independence Day for Haiti, right? So it was just like one big party. Like, it just didn't stop. Like, the music didn't stop, the dancing didn't stop. It was a lot, but I hung till the end, and it was great. And especially that pizza truck at the end of the night, it was amazing. That was amazing. Like, I needed that. But there's so many. I can't even, like, I'm looking through my phone and I'm like, oh, that was a good one. Oh, I like that one a lot.
Well, being one of the most diverse planners in the tri-state and, of course, international, it seems like, there has to be some sort of, like, I guess you have a contract with all your couples that you meet, but do you stay to the very end of your contract, like to the very end of the night, or do you feel like yourself you get the bill because the contract says I'm out at 8 o'clock, you leave at 8?
Oh, well, it depends, right? It depends how regimented you've been with me, right? So if you're super regimented and you want to play by the contract, we're going to play by the contract, right? But if you've been cool and, you're like easygoing and stuff like that, sometimes I stay. Sometimes I see the bride really drunk. I've stayed and driven the bride to their hotel because their service, the car service has left already, and they're
How many
still.
bands are those that you hold? I want to know your clientele. But
I drove one. I drove their kids because they were like, oh, the kids are going to go home with so-and-so. And I'm like, those kids are getting in my car. Get in my car right now. Nobody's driving you home. Everybody's drinking here. Like, I don't know who's going to. So I took the sitter with the kids and I drove them back to their hotel. And then I came back and took them back because they just did not want to leave their party.
With your company as it's growing, I know you're doing really great with your social media. You're drawing a lot of attention here with value and being a presence in this industry. Do you cover yourself with, like, insurance? Do you have anything that you kind of protect yourself? Because now that you've gotten to this level, you got to keep, your ass tight.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I'm trying to go to the gym and keep my ass tight. But okay. So, yes, I'm always very cautious about insurance. I'm always scared of things that can happen. Sometimes they say that I'm negative, right? Because I'm always like, don't light those candles. And they're like, why? I go, let the venue light their own candles. I'm not lighting their candles. Or let the florist light their candles. Because if that candle falls somewhere, right, something can happen, then they're going to blame me. So I make sure that I'm covered, right, through my insurance for everything. Even like if we put a cable down, like, oh, somebody needs an extension cord, and I put an extension cord down from my car, I'm like, tape that thing down. I'm like, don't let anybody trip over it because I know it's going to fall on me, right? So I am covered.
Negligence.
Right? Negligence. Like, yeah. And I'm like, I am terrified of that. I even got workers' comp and everything. I'm just like, I try to cover my butt every which way, and that's the sad part, right? Because
planners put so much work into everything, and they have their hands on so many things. There's certain things that I've always confronted some planners that, like, listen, there's certain things that you got to step away from. And I've voiced a lot is like, that whole dance floor is like my resume. That's me. I don't touch your flowers. I don't touch this. So insurance, negligence, liability, all this stuff. You're right. I would never touch a centerpiece because if I just like move it a little bit and like an hour later that thing tips, I had my fingertips on that.
I will run your foot, and I will run your prints.
You would run prints. You would go to the camera. Hey, Jack, why'd you take that tulip out of there? I was like, You know what? My bad. That's all I could say. It's my bad, right?
Yeah.
So, but how do you work with, like, I guess, maitre d's or DJs or other planners?
Let's talk about that maitre d' incident we had.
Which one is this one?
Shadowbrook. You remember?
Yeah.
So
Hold on, I'm trying to put their face to the name, but go on. Yes, keep talking about that one.
So I got in trouble. I thought I got in trouble because I got called to the back office. I was like, oh man, I'm like, I messed up, right?
I remember this.
So I went to the back and they were like, oh, we had on our timeline to sit everybody down for desserts. And I'm like, no, we didn't. I'm like, nobody discussed that. And the maitre d' told the manager that he did discuss it. And I said, you didn't discuss it with me. And he goes, I spoke to the DJ. And the manager said, but the planner is here. She hasn't left. So why wouldn't you run it by the planner? Because usually by that time, desserts, the planner's not there. It's like normal, right?
Yeah,
we leave. Like after we do all the dance, the cake cutting and bouquet toss,
yeah.
it's like goodbye. We're done. We did our job, right? So he went to you. You said to sit them down. I go to you. I go, don't sit them down. I'm not going to sit them down right now. I'm going to keep on playing that music. And then you kept on playing the music. I go into the back. So I told them. So in the end, they sided with me. And they said that he should have told me. I said, if I would have known, I would have sat them down. But you can't tell me at the last hour to sit them down. It's not fair to me.
No. And there was also other vendors that they were timing wise. Hora Loca that was coming in.
Yeah.
There was like two different types of Hora Loca.
Yes.
So it's like,
yes. It was two different vendors for that Hora Loca.
Two different vendors coming in at 5 minutes apart from each other, and yet you had within that 5 minutes you had to figure out how to sit them down. It was like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I remember that moment.
Yeah.
It was
crazy. It was crazy.
A lot of bumping of heads, but that was behind the scenes, which is what we do best.
Yeah. And sometimes it happens, like, right? There's always room for miscommunication. Like, it happens. Like, everybody's running around like a chicken without a head, trying to make sure that they accomplish everything that was set out for them to accomplish that night. So it happens, you know? I feel that some maitre d's are more flexible than others, right?
Yeah.
I think he was a great maitre d' too. I think that was the only hiccup we had. But what a hiccup, because they're used to sitting people down and they wanted to make sure they got desserts.
Yeah,
right?
and I don't think, I mean, not for nothing, a lot of maitre d's are focused with their timelines because they're very strict. They got that 4 hour. I get it. But when it comes to planning, you have a lot more details than what we have. And obviously it's your job to communicate a lot of stuff between me and the venue. But then we got to like make lemonade.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that come at
No,
us.
and I've done it. I've done mistakes too with the maitre d'. They were like, "You didn't tell me at this." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I forgot. You're right. I didn't tell you." Because sometimes I forget. I'm like, I think I told them, and I didn't. Right. So I've done the same error. The same thing he did, I did the same thing. I've done the same thing.
Well, I know you can't forget any of this now. What is your favorite and your worst wedding venue?
Why are you putting me on that spot? So my favorite is Crystal Plaza. I say that all the time. I'm like, Crystal Plaza is my favorite venue.
Max was here early.
Oh, yes, I know. Because every time I walk in there, they make me feel like I'm the bride. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I walk in there, like, everybody's like, hi, Belinda. Hi, B. Hi, Belinda. And I'm like, everybody's so nice. I feel so welcome, right? And then the next thing is they come to me like, would you like some coffee? That was the first time they came up to, and I'm like, me? For me? And they're like,
I would have said you want some Ritalin, but you know, that's okay.
No, I'm not that hyper, boy. I'm not that hyper.
That's right.
But so that's my favorite venue. I love everything. I love that they have an outdoor ceremony space, an indoor ceremony space. They have plenty of places to take pictures. Their bridal suite, their groom suite, like everything is just like it's all there. And
they run a great ship there, and for the most part, the team they really filter their employees and they pay them very well, which is why I really give them a lot of credit for where the success is right now, especially because Max and Hunter are taking over. So and they're really creating that hype. What about your worst venue?
Do we have to?
We probably have the same venue in mind, but go on.
So,
hey, look.
Why don't you say your worst venue? Say your
My
worst
venue.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. It's always been our factory.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I mean, it's not to discredit the beauty and the aesthetics of the place because the place has potential. It's just, it's really difficult. And when I say I don't like, it's because it's very difficult for. You got the space. Okay, you got to make it happen. You need a planner. You need a planner to put everything together from renting of the kitchen, renting of you need the caterers. You need to bring everything in. That's okay. Now, how do you get it in when you have
everybody coming in at the same time?
You got 10 rooms. And that makes it a really big issue because it's when it comes to the hustle and bustle, as we're saying, things are timed. Even if you get there 2-3 hours early, there's no way. You got cobblestones. You're going through ghost and you're going through a lot of stuff. I'm seeing a lot of different things there.
It's a lot.
It ain't my favorite place because it's just I know the things that I brought in there. I gotta
And
be
then
there the
sometimes
day prior.
and the power too, right? So for you, doesn't that happen to you, right? Like if you want to bring in video walls there, you better check your power and bring a generator.
They're great. We
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a wedding there before. Amazing. I love it because like you don't see. Oh, sorry. You don't see what's on the outside. But again, coming in really beats the shit out
For
of
the
everyone.
vendors, it beats us.
Every vendor and planners, you need to get walkied up. Every planner needs to get walkied up in there because just to get to the second floor.
I get walkied up with them, so I know what's going on with their internal house.
But like any business, I have a brand new business. We go through that trial and error. So
Right.
hopefully things do change a little bit. But I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to ever go there.
Oh no,
I'm
I
just
go there
telling
all the time. I have like 4 weddings in a month there because somebody keeps on referring me.
you. Oh yeah.
I don't know who that could be, but I'm like, listen to me. I'm only taking 4 a month from RFI. I cannot take any more. Where other venues, I'll be booked 20 weddings in a month. I am not taking more than 4, if that. What's your favorite venue?
My favorite venue. Oof. You put me on the spot. I could tell you the longest venue that I've been at, and it's still my top favorite. Definitely Crystal Plaza. We're giving them mad plugs. I've been with them for over a decade.
Okay.
Like Max and Hunter, I did their prom. That's how far I go. And,
Oh, wow.
And I remember the story how I got pulled in, which I can talk to you about that maybe next time. But I can only tell you my top 6 favorite space because they're
Okay.
all equal. Chateau Nanina, Park Savoy. We've been with them.
Oh, I love Park Savoy too.
Oh, they're
yeah, I
amazing.
love Park Savoy.
That family's great. They treat us really well. I've been surprisingly with Trump National for a decade as well, but that's a very kind of low key type of world. And every time I'm in there, yeah, you're a rock star. It's great. You feel like you're at home. And then going north, Rockley, Florentine. Those are great spots.
So I've never been at the Rockley yet.
You haven't? Oh, you got Zara.
I'm gonna be there next year.
We're gonna bring Zara here and her people. They're all from the
I'm gonna be
Rockley
there
and
next year. I love Florentines as well.
Sal and them.
I think that was one of the weddings that catapulted career. I did Meet the Simmons. They're influencers.
Yes, that was at Crystal Plaza.
It was it was a Florentine Garden. No, Crystal Plaza was Beba.
Yes, that was sorry. They're
Yes,
I know.
they're friends. They're like besties.
Yes.
And she did it at Florentine's, and she hired me. And I think Beba did it with Nada. She was Nada's there, and then I took that one, and that was like a boom. It was a Wednesday wedding. I'll never forget it. It was so much fun. We had a great time.
See, and these are the weddings that what we're talking about really stands out because that's what you do with content. That's what you do with the more you keep posting it, people are loving it. They keep following it. They keep seeing it. I don't know them. I bumped into them here and there with AMA, and it's like we bump into each other, but it's like I remember that memory because of what you've done, and it's kind of cool. But that is part of why content is important because these potential brides remember that wedding, and it's like. I see myself with that wedding vow. I see myself with that officiant that's going to screw up with the wedding vows. I see myself doing all this stuff. Like, that's what I see,
Yeah.
But it's impression, How important is it with content, the way you're doing it?
I think it's extremely important. I think that's my only form of marketing besides, my
You don't
business.
do Wedding Wire or The Knot or anything like that?
I don't do any of that.
Do you pay for any of your ads?
I don't pay for any of my ads. No.
How busy are you?
I'm booked solid this year. I've been booked solid since COVID.
And what's solid? How many events?
Last year, I think I was at 70 something.
Jeez, that's good.
And this year, right now, I'm at 65, I think. But that's not only weddings. I also do, corporate events. 60 something. But I think I'll finish again, like in the 75 range. I don't want to burn myself to the ground, but, and some of the weddings I don't go to either, right? I don't go to all of them. I don't so many weddings. Sometimes my team goes. But yeah, so I think, for the past 2 years, it's been like that. So
That's great. I know. Last 2 years, you've been moving pretty fast. Your content.
Yeah, and that social media helps me. That's how I acquire all my clients. They're like, "Oh, we saw you on social media. Oh, somebody sent me your social media page. Oh, whatever." And I always give
also
tips
like your escape though too, isn't it? Your way of just kind of like.
because I like to dance, so I'm always like shaking my booty and stuff. And I like,
You want to show us how to shake your booty?
No, you can go to my social media page.
On your, there's the
Sovereign B.
Onlyfans.com.
No,
Shake your booty.
Only my toes are on OnlyFans.
I know, for $4.99 for 3 months, that's a pretty good deal. I paid for the year. What are the biggest challenges you see facing in your industry?
Sometimes I see like a lot of what's that called?
Com-
Like Mean Girl Club. What is that?
oh yeah, I know what you mean. Haters, maybe.
Not haters. Like when you're in high school, those little like cliques. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
little like high school cliques.
Yeah.
I hate cliques, right? I'll talk to anybody. I'm friendly with anybody. I've given weddings to other vendors, right? Other planners and stuff. And I'm like, hey, I'm not available, but I know a few great planners that can help you with your day. Like, I'm always trying to refer people, whether I've worked with them or whether I know someone who's worked with them or I know somebody I always try to refer people, especially if I think they're good, not if I think they're crap. Like, I'm not going to refer you, right?
You don't see your company taking on more by just subbing it out to like your workers to still represent your company?
Oh
like,
yeah, we do that already. We do.
do
That's
that,
why
okay.
I'm able to do so many events because I have to subcontract it out to my team. But it's still under Sovereign B. It's not like it's not individually.
Okay.
They're still under me.
Who's your network? Who
What
are
do
you
you
using?
mean? What do you mean?
Planner wise, like who's your network of planners? Or these are just all your
Oh
employees?
no planners. Like I've referred weddings to your Catherine. I've referred them to
Hold on. Oh, Catherine, you hear that? You're Catherine.
to Rosani.
I love her. Rosani was
Yes,
an OG from the Crystal Plot.
Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting people's names. But I've referred them to a few. You can come here, Catherine. Come, sunshine. Have you ever worked for Catherine?
Yes.
Yeah, I've even worked for Catherine. So sometimes planners will call me and they tell me, hey, I need help. Like somebody backed out, they're called out sick or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I can go. I'm like, give me your t-shirt. I'll wear your t-shirt, and I abide by their rules and I work the way they work and stuff like that. I don't try to like input where my input is not needed. Like they're the planner. They know what they're doing. So I'm able to help a fellow planner out.
So now, guide me through this process if I'm trying to book your service. You have a team of vendors that you prefer, from photo, video, DJs, the whole 9 yards, I assume. How many vendors do you recommend when it comes to makeup? How many vendors do you recommend when it comes to entertainment? Or is it just one?
No, I think I have 5 in each category, about 5. Some might have 6, like hair and makeup might have a little bit more. But I have like 5 in every category.
Okay. Good. Why is that?
Because it's different. Every person, every vendor serves a different purpose, right? So I might have an ethnic wedding that I think that one DJ might not cater well to that wedding. So I have vendors in each category. So like if we're going to do an Indian wedding or we're going to do a Jewish wedding or we're going to do, a Caribbean wedding, right? It's like not all DJs know how to handle them, right? Then I have like my Dominican weddings, I have somebody for that. So I kind of like spread the love, right, around.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's a good answer because like I've asked this some other planners, and other planners, I just recommend one. I'm like,
yeah, because some people, you know what, and
that's
I understand.
risky.
It is risky. It is risky because if that one messes up on you,
oh yeah, well, you
like
only recommended one person.
You're done because they will come after you. Even though in my contract it says I'm not responsible for any vendor I refer to you, like they're their own separate entity, but still they look at you shady. Like, why'd you give me that guy? And he was like, crap.
With your contracts, what's your favorite term that you have there besides non-refundable?
The harassment clause, like don't anybody better not harass me because I will walk out of your wedding. That's my favorite clause. Well, that's not what the clause says, but what I'm saying is, because there's sometimes people drink a little too much and then they start saying crazy things to you, whether it be in a perverted way or some they're talking down to you.
What perverted?
No, I've
what
never walked
perversion have
out.
you
I've
heard?
never. We don't need to talk about perversion.
Why not? This is going to my church. Maybe we could bless you, spray holy water at you, see
I
if
don't
you
know.
burn
They
or
say
not.
crazy things or like touch you inappropriately, So I have a clause that allows me to approach the couple if that happens. They are to take action. If they do not take action and it happens again, I will walk out on your wedding.
I like that clause.
It's never happened though.
I'm gonna do that with me when it comes to music. I'm gonna play your request. And
Oh
if
my
the
god,
dance
that
floor-
is so annoying.
If the dance floor clears, I am walking out because I played your request.
You know what? That's one of the things that gets me so mad about couples with their freaking request. That, all the DJs that I work with, they give them ample time to put in their song selection in their portal.
Yes.
Right? So you're able to pick who you don't like, who you like, what your favorite songs are, like what you're walking down to the aisle, and then they're switching crap 24 hours before the day. And then when something goes wrong, they expect it. They're like, oh, what happened? What happened is that you didn't do your homework. Like, you need to do your homework, right?
Yeah.
And then after they tell you, oh, I don't want to hear Cardi B, they're coming up to you that day, hey, can you play Cardi B? I'm sorry. Like, we're not going to switch my whole thing. I just programmed a whole wedding playlist for you. And now you're telling me to go to another folder to find stuff for you.
It's funny you said that because just recently we had Natasha's wedding, and right from the beginning, I'm
What
looking
happened?
at our for the ceremony.
Oh,
And let me tell you, your story was wedding vows, right? My same thing with ceremonies. Like, I think it's very important to get the 3 songs. important because that sets the tone for any weddings. And of course, at Natasha's wedding, you know, we're looking at the portal. I'm looking at the text. She texted me 2 days before the event, I think it was. And it says, I look at the portal. The portal has one song for both scenes, prelude and her walk down. And then when she exits, look at the text. Her text says, these are the 2 songs that I want. And then she listed 3 songs, which I didn't see the 3rd song because she says I listed 2.
And because it was you, I didn't check up on you. So then when the song played, I'm like, I don't think that's the song. I'm like, you're like, it's the song. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's the song. But I didn't have my paper at that point because I was just going by what you were doing.
Yeah, but I compared. I looked at my notes. I looked at my phone. There's 2 songs. There's 2 songs. I don't know what songs. And then when you told me, it's like we got it quick.
That was a good wedding too. Speaking of
you
that
kidding
was
me?
That was a fun wedding.
It was amazing.
That dance floor did not stop. Even the part when I started DJing, it was like,
which I'm gonna post, by the way. I got the most brilliant post of you doing this. It's really great. I love it. I'm gonna post that. So, but that wedding was really amazing because what happened that night, just incredible energy.
The energy was amazing.
The whole year of planning and they're behind the scenes, meaning they're watching what you're doing. They're watching what we're doing. They love to see the vendors still constantly working, and because the day that we come together, it's the day that nothing could go wrong. It's what they prayed for, except for rain. Except for rain. And
the rain is a blessing.
The rain was a blessing. Yeah, it was.
I always tell people that. I'm like, don't get tied up in that. Just, it's a blessing.
Notice how your tone of voice has changed? That was a third personality. Check it out. All right, there we go. Sorry, I usually have music being played, but there's a third personality.
I have a few personalities, sweetheart.
So, all right, let's move pretty fast here. What are some of the tips in your success that you want to share with other future planners that are really want to grab this by the horn? Successful tips.
Yeah, know that it's not your wedding, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I don't do that. I'm like, okay, but it's not your wedding. Let them do whatever they want, right? So adapt easily. Try to adapt. There's different cultures, different rituals. Like, you have to adapt. You can't just go in there thinking that this is your wedding and this is the way you want it to look. I know sometimes my team is like, oh, but that's so tacky. I'm like, it's not your wedding, dude. It is what it is. Well, couldn't you talk them out of that? I'm like, no, that's what they want to do. Like, if they ask me for their opinion, I will give it to them. But if they don't ask me, I don't. If it seems okay and that we're gonna be able to pull it off, I'm like, I let them do whatever they feel comfortable with and what they want. That's one. So adapt. Second is be sure of yourself.
Have confidence.
Have confidence. There are a lot of people out there. I thank my father every day. God rest his soul. He put that in me. Like, I've always been very confident since I was little. But I know that that's not everybody's story, and not everybody has that. And if you self-doubt yourself a lot, don't self-doubt yourself in front of people, because they are trusting you that you're the expert. And if you start self-doubting and you look like you're scared, they're going to be scared.
It shows.
100%
it shows.
It shows. There's times shit's going wrong, and I'm like, whoop. I'm looking like nothing's going wrong. Everything's going A-okay. Like, we're going to keep on going, and we're going to make it work, you know?
All right. So now you've been in business for quite some time. So have you created some sort of business model or goal for your
No, I
company?
need to get there. So, yeah. So my finances are not the best, right? So I am very clear about
How's your
that.
credit report and keep going?
I have an Amex, so it can't be that bad. I have a platinum, so it can't be that bad. But I do lack. There's things I lack in as a human, right? And as a business owner.
Were you say as a Hispanic? I thought you were going to say as a Hispanic. There's a few things I lack.
As an entrepreneur, right? It's not like I always tell people. I'm like, oh, I can organize the shit out of your wedding, but my life is not. So I'm like, Armani, how much do we owe on your university? What's my bill pay? What do I got to pay today? And he's like, Mom, it was due last week. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, are you gonna get thrown out of school? So I'm like all over the place. Sorry, in my personal life sometimes, right? Because I give so much to other things. So this year, my goal is to focus more on the financial aspect of the business, right? To make sure I put certain things in place. So if I am not able to do something, the business can continue without me.
So where do you see it? What do you see your business going in like 3-5 years from now?
So I feel like there's going to be a lot of planners under me. Like, I'm going to have like 3 or 5 planners. I'm writing a book. Okay. I'm also going to sell product.
Are we going to find this book at Willie's Bodegas and Pizza?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, you are. You're going to find it everywhere. Amazon as well.
Right, with the car magazine, man.
Yeah,
car magazine
and the what do you say?
house,
The
real estate.
vasectomy. The kid. So yeah, you can find it. You're gonna find it everywhere. I'm gonna create like checklists, not taking away from planners and not giving all our secrets, of course. But it is. I know a lot of people, they only have a budget to only hire a day of coordinator, and they're not able to hire a planner. So I'm going to give them a few tips on how they can at least make it to having a day of coordinator. Like, they don't need a planner, but there's a lot of stuff. Like, sometimes when these brides or couples come to me and they're like, oh yeah, we're ready. And then I'm like, you're not ready. You don't have anything. And then I'm working. I'm like, that's going to be extra. This is not day of coordinator package. Like, I am not to lift up a finger. I am not to find you insurance. I am not to find you transportation, hotel information. Like, I'm not supposed to do none of that. So get your ish together. Like, if you can't afford me, then your wedding's going to go, to crap. Or like, not me, myself. I'm saying any day of coordinator.
Have you ever rubbed the bride the wrong way and they just never booked you? And did she tell you why?
So I feel that I've rubbed maybe 2 brides that I can recall the wrong way. They never approached me on it. They never spoke to me about it. They wrote a good review about it, but there wasn't a chemistry there, right? So I felt that for whatever reason and that was earlier on also, right? I think I'm more vocal about my personality and stuff like that because I'm not for everybody. Like, if you put Catherine and me, Catherine, come here, sunshine. If you put Catherine and me in a room, we're two different personalities, right? Yes, come. Because we're talking really quick. You look beautiful. Yeah. So Catherine and I are two. I've worked with Catherine, so I know how she works, and she works the way I work. Like, I like her approach on stuff, right? Okay. But we are 2 different personalities. Like, speak, Catherine.
I agree. I think. No, I mean, and this is with all, like,
I've done a mic here.
Oh, we have a mic for her? Oh, this is great. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
And this is with all the respect I have for you. Yeah, we are 2 different personalities, but I think that we are a great combination together. Have we?
I'm a bitch.
No, you're not.
Yes, I can be.
No, I think you're very hyper and very, like, I feel like, and this is for me, I've taught my team that when we are coordinating or doing anything, just keep, again.
Yes, no, I know what you're saying. Yes.
Can you slide in closer to her?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because the lens.
Don't have to really get in the camera. So I've taught my team that when we are coordinating a wedding, whether it's at the ceremony or at the reception, I need them to pace themselves. We need to tackle things, but I need them to pace themselves and not show, like, if they're running or to
not
speak
frantic
loud or to, like,
yeah, I'm loud.
Call from, like, across the room. However, if it works for you, I respect that.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm loud. I can control my voice. It's really hard. You see, like, sometimes I go into my third personality. Yeah, it's so weird because sometimes I'm like,
her decibel
I'm like,
levels
I need to
keep
take it down.
But I love her energy,
I know I'm
though.
loud.
I love her energy. It doesn't bother me, and we've worked together, and we've been in the car, and I feel like I get a little bit of her energy, and I get a little crazy behind the scenes with her, right? I have.
Well, hold on. Since I got you both here, then what about, like, when you guys work together we talked about a little bit with working with other planners, but there has to be some sort of wall. You know what? You don't touch this section, I won't touch that section.
It's an unspoken wall. Like, she doesn't need to tell me, Belinda, you don't do that. If anything, I question, I'm like, what would you like me to do? That's right. What would you like me to do?
Well, I mean, you're an open book. You're easy to work with. What about other bridal planners?
Super.
What about other planners that don't? I'm just saying in general.
I don't know. I worked with other
planners that don't work like that.
And I feel that, without saying any names, and this was a while back, that I will say I really enjoyed working with you. I don't think I would ever go back and work with those planners, only because there has to be this, even that you're loud. I mean, again, and I say that in
I don't care. Don't worry about it. It's about me.
Way, and I love it, and
I'm
love
loud as fuck.
She likes to be disrespected.
I'm more like kind of toned down and quiet.
Hold on.
I tackle around to do things. I just feel that when you're working with another planner, we both have to. We're a team. We're not CS Events, Sovereign B. Like, we're a team. I take the company name aside. Like, I don't utilize that. Now it's Belinda and I, Belinda and Catherine and Belinda. And we're a team because that's just how it is. There's no animosity or there's no, like, jealousy.
Like, I remember one time we were put on a list. Jersey City, was it? Jersey City? Like the top planners or something, I don't know, like, if you're looking for
Lynn Hazan.
Yes, by Lynn Hazan. And I remember I called her too, and we were like, oh my God, congratulations, you're on the list. this, like we were like happy for each other, right? Like
There was a fourth
Absolutely.
personality
that
right
was
there.
Fourth person. When she starts with the squeaky voice, that's her
Yeah.
fourth.
She goes, Jack, sit him down. That's like the first one. Jack, sit him down. They have to eat
Jack.
their flan. They have to eat their flan. Sit him
Yes,
down.
I do love and enjoy working with you, whether it's an event, whether it was here at the office.
Listen, she's not gonna get no Academy Award here. You're
I
gonna
know,
give her
I
an
know.
award
She's like, give me
I
like
want
a
to thank
trophy.
God. I want to
She's-
thank my children, and you know.
Belinda, the best. I think I'm done now.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks, Kat.
Love you.
Thanks. I had an incident with a planner about a month and a half ago, and she told me after I did formalities, you have to do this game. It's like after the toast, you have to do this game. It's like, what game you want me to do? You know, she wants me to have them running around all the tables. You know,
Oh,
take
I do that
photos.
too. Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, but she's telling me like, no, you have to do this. I'm not gonna do it now. I'm gonna do it later for you, but I'm not gonna do this now.
Well, but did she tell you in advance you were gonna do it, or she just put you on the spot and say you're gonna do it now?
Oh no, she put it in her timeline.
Uh-huh.
She put it in her timeline that she says, I'm gonna put my camera away. She put on the timeline that you have to do this game. I told her I'm not doing the game, and I had to tell her I'm not doing the game now because I haven't even started the party yet. Like I don't know what the hell I'm dealing with.
You have to get a feel for the crowd.
Yo, let me open the dance floor. I did everything that she asked for in the part, but the venue got to get the dinner orders. And to this day, this bugs me because it's like, now you're throwing me off because if I did a fucking game, excuse my language, it would throw
Look at
my
you
whole
cursing.
reputation. This is the dude that again.
Yeah, 'cause that's not
you
your
work-
style.
You
That's
work
not your style.
28 years doing this. And now I'm doing these hokey pokey games. Like, listen, it works, but I'm not doing it.
Hokey pokey.
I said I'm not doing the game now because I don't know who I'm dealing with. Let me do the game later. I gotta size up this party.
Yeah, I do that too. I do that game as well, and I do let the DJ say and the photographer like, when do you think it's gonna be good? Like we have to talk about it. Like we can't just do it right in the beginning. And I agree because you need to get DJs need to get that feel, that initial feel for the crowd, like on
Yeah.
that first song. That first song that drops is like the most important song because you're gonna know which way you should guide yourself for the rest of the night.
100%. So, which is why I think my contract should say the same thing if I'm dealing with a fucking planner, because there's too many planners now.
Yes.
A lot of new planners are coming in, and of course, we've had a name, we have a great reputation, so they love working with us, no question. But I think they're too excited, and they want to show what they are capable of doing.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like you just gotta let these things fly. You just gotta let them roll. And it was like one of the most uncomfortable moments for me. I'm like, you know what? I gave her that face, you know.
Yeah, your face. I've
Yeah,
seen.
let me
I
see.
know your face.
What's my face? Can you show me? Yeah,
Like this.
I give her the face like I want to throw up my
You just
microphone. at her.
stay like that and you just
Yeah,
look at
just
them.
look at you.
Mhm.
Don't. I don't even breathe when I look at you.
Yeah,
I just I
yeah.
just want to die.
Yeah.
Just like,
You better hurry up. I gotta get on a call.
yeah, I know
Okay.
because we're late, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
'Cause I
all
was
right.
late.
Well, yes, because
Planner was
I
late.
am wrapping up here. in
We
a few
spoke a
minutes.
lot.
It's good. All right. Well, B, I guess the last thing I'll say, you got a lot going on. All right. I definitely see your business expanding more than just the 10 girls that you might have. But I think you have a lot of potential having two industries, not just the wedding event planning, but the whole corporate stuff. I feel like Miss Belinda is going to have something internationally known.
Ooh.
And then you have.
Isn't that a song?
That's,
I'm not internationally
that's
known.
Pitbull.
What? No.
Oh, that's.
But I'm known to rock the microphone because I get stupid. I mean,
Yes.
outrageous. Is it Rob Bass?
Yes.
No? Rob Bass? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I love that song.
It takes two.
It takes two to make a thing go right.
But no, I do see two business plans for you. Like we're trying to diversify us. Like I kind of have to veer off a little bit off edge and just create like this Belinda and Jack thing. Like it has to be something separate because
Yeah, yeah,
the higher
yeah.
end stuff. And then of course the company is doing great. But I see that with you having international planning.
thank
and then
you.
you got your.
From your mouth to God's ears.
That's it. That's it. All right. I don't have nothing else to say, Belinda. You wasted my time.
Thank you so much for having me.
You wasted my time. And,
Thank you. I think this is a great idea. I love it. Thank you for having me on.
of course. All right. Thanks, B. That's it. And we are out. Beautiful.
Ay, coño.
Why is she talking?
Who's talking?
Why are you talking?
I don't hear. She's whispering. I hear
Is
her
she?
now.
Are you whispering?
I don't appreciate you throwing me under the bus, lady.
Who?
Not looking like this, and I'm like,
You look,
doing the
you look
camera.
beautiful. What is this thing?
What is Belinda doing?
I don't know.
What are you reading?
What is this crap? What is she sending me?
Okay, share.
I
Because
know.
we're over here in
No.
suspense.
She's
like-
sending me something about. What is this? What is this? I'm
Still not
lost.
saying.
No, is
No.
it on Tinder? You gotta swipe right.
I was in a
You
How
gotta
do you
swipe.
know?
You gotta swipe right.
How
exactly.
do you know?
I'm on Grinder.
Oh God.